It is spectral and can take on several forms, although it is not considered severe enough for treatment.
What's happening, guys, and welcome back to another video on our channel. Fear is a common phenomenon in which every human being is scared of something in their life, be it height, enclosed spaces, or even blood. These fears are called phobias, derived from a Greek word. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-V, defines these phobias as an intense and irrational fear of a specified object or situation which provokes immediate fear or anxiety upon exposure. Head on in and have a look at the strangest phobias that people suffer from. Number 10. Somnophobia, fear of buttons. As the name suggests, Somnophobia is a rare phobia of buttons. In this specific phobia, a person suffers from a great deal of distress or disgust upon coming into contact with a button or having visual exposure to it. There are different types of people with this phobia. Some sufferers are scared of buttons because they find the texture of it unusual, while others find it dirty. Similarly, some phobics only fear touching or wearing buttons. However, some cannot even stand other people, whether it's friends or strangers, wearing them. The founder of the Apple brand, Steve Jobs, talked about his button phobia to Wall Street Journal, the very reason he introduced an iPhone, a phone without buttons. Similarly, Steve never wore a shirt with buttons. He made all his appearances in his turtleneck shirt to avoid buttons at all cost.
Don't really think anything of it, but it is actually quite interesting, and I have recently looked into it a little bit.
Number 9. Agoraphobia, or fear of peanut butter. Did you guys find the button phobia strange? If not, then this phobia is even stranger. We all grew up enjoying peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or the famous Reese's peanut butter cup. Now imagine someone having extreme fear of eating peanut butter. To our surprise, it's actually real. It's called Agoraphobia. It's also known as a phobia of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. In this rare phobia, people are scared that they will choke to death if they have peanut butter. The sensation of eating peanut butter is just overwhelming for these people. Some people get triggered even by the sight or smell of peanut butter. The reasons behind developing this fear are unclear. According to experts, past negative experiences with peanut butter can trigger this fear.
Phobia. Some people are deathly afraid of the sensation of having peanut butter stuck on the roof of their mouth.
Number 8. Trypophobia, fear of holes. Do you feel creeped out or a weird sensation in your stomach when you cluster circles, holes, or even bumps? If the answer is yes, then chances are that you have a specific phobia known as trypophobia, or the fear of holes. The fear of holes is triggered by seeing patterns and things made up of holes. The bigger the cluster of holes, the greater the anxiety. This phobia results in a strong emotional and physical reaction. The experts claim that this reaction is commonly out of disgust rather than fear. This phobia is triggered by the head of the lotus flower, skin problems, etc.
And covered in holes was uploaded by a young woman on Facebook. Since then, it's given viewers.
Number 7. Somnophobia, or fear of sleep. We're all scared of passing away, but what if this fear stops you from sleeping at all? This irrational fear is called somnophobia, a person who is scared to sleep because of their fear that something dreadful might happen to him or her. It's also commonly known as hypnophobia, sleep anxiety, or sleep phobia. However, one should not get confused between somnophobia and insomnia. Somnophobia is fear of sleeping, whereas insomnia is the inability to sleep. This fear is more common in children than in adults, with nightmares being the most common reason behind it.
Sleep, a serious fear of sleep. It may seem like you're the only person in the world who has such.
Number 6. Phobophobia, fear of having a phobia. Having a fear of fear? Doesn't this sound bizarre to you guys? Well, believe it or not, it's real. People with phobophobia are scared of anxiety or the symptoms associated with any phobia. Some phobophobes are afraid of gaining a new phobia. For instance, if you have a phobia, the chances of you developing phobophobia is much higher than people who don't have a phobia. The reason behind it is anticipatory anxiety. You are scared for a large amount of time about an imaginary future scenario you perceive as a threat. The possible reason behind developing this phobia is either an untreated anxiety disorder or growing up in an environment where your parents had a phobia.
The observation terraces, which have a magnificent view, cause your breathlessness. You might not even get close to a cute cat, or a suspicion that there is an insect at home.
Number 5. Dendrophobia, or fear of trees. Trees provide countless benefits, not just to humans, but the environment as a whole. Sadly, however, some people are scared of trees, developing a phobia known as dendrophobia. People with dendrophobia fear trees because they have an irrational belief that trees would harm them or their loved ones. They're not just scared of exposure to trees, but even the mere thought of trees is very stressful for them. The main reason behind this belief is usually linked back to bad experiences with trees, such as a fall or a poke from a tree.
Dendrophobia is the fear of trees, and it's my belief that more people suffer from it than we might first realize. I don't mean...
Number 4. Catastrophia, or fear of sitting down. Imagine the pain of standing all day long, even if your legs are giving up, but your irrational fear of sitting down is not letting you rest on your legs. This phobia is known as catastrophia. This term is derived from the Greek word katasso, which means to sit or sitting. People having this phobia have to face a great deal of distress. It's anxiety-provoking. The sufferers constantly try to avoid situations that expose them to sit. They're in a constant state of battle with their thoughts, which can affect their quality of life in the long run.
Catastrophia, fear of sitting down. Catastrophia is a specific phobia related to the fear of sitting down. It is
Number 3. Maguricophobia, fear of cooking. Cooking food is a chore that most people know how to do, at least on an amateur level. Unfortunately, some people develop a fear of cooking, which is also known as Maguricophobia. This phobia is a result of either a traumatic experience or a negative reaction to a kitchen mishap. Some of the common symptoms that a person having this phobia may face are dizziness or nausea. The fear of cooking can greatly impact a person's life, as they prefer pre-cooked meals or rely on fast food. This affects their health over the years, exposing them to the risk of obesity and diabetes.
It is spectral and can take on several forms, although it is not considered severe enough for treatment.
Number 2. Diagnophobia, fear of dining or dinner conversations. Dinner is one of the most important meals of the day, where the entire family or friends get to eat together and make good memories. However, a simple dinner at times can be daunting for people who have diagnophobia. In this phobia, the person is scared to have a conversation over dinners. Such people usually prefer to eat alone or stay silent over dinner.
Is how he or she might look when eating and fears being criticized. This fear is especially exacerbated.
Number 1. Agoraphobia, fear of crossing the street. Are you afraid to cross the street? If yes, then there are chances that you have agoraphobia. Those who have this phobia are extremely scared to cross any road and think that they might get hurt if they cross it. This fear shouldn't be confused by the fear of cars. In this phobia, the sufferers can drive cars, but they will avoid crossing roads even if they're empty. They also have a hard time walking through crowded pedestrians alongside busy streets. This phobia tends to develop after a traumatic experience. Do you have any other phobias that we haven't covered in our video? If so, then the comment section is all yours. And as usual, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon if you like the content in this video and want to see more like it in the future. Until next time, guys, take care and goodbye.